Hey everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, and this is not a 10-minute testing. I am supremely sorry, but this was an extremely rough week for me. Law school just started, actually. Orientation was on Thursday and Friday, and as a result, I didn't really have the time necessary to give the second 10-minute testing of the week the attention I felt it deserved. Now don't worry, you'll all get to see what monstrosity Jeff Leonard has cooked up for me early next week, but in the meantime I figured I'd dip my toesies into a new type of content, inspired by Alex Simo and the meta snapshots, but with all the quality and class that you've come to expect from this channel. So here's the Kissability of Yu-Gi-Oh! Heroes tier list. Now, if you're like me, you've often wondered which heroes are the most kissable. And I think we can definitively say, once and for all, where each one belongs after today's video. So, no reason to delay any longer. Let's jump right into it. First up is Sparkman. This is an easy S tier. I hate to go for the S right out of the starting gate, but anyone who has played Sparkman either in bad builds of heroes or in Phantasm Spiral knows that he is adaptable. And that's the number one quality you want in a kisser, ladies and gentlemen. Next up is Malicious. His name is literally malicious. I imagine it can't be good. I feel like he might have an ulterior motive, like you're kissing him, and then later you find out he saves your saliva in order to clone you in a lab. I'm putting this guy in D, unless he brings his brothers, which might bump him up a little bit. Next up is Plasma. I don't dislike Plasma. The payoff is really nice, but when I'm playing Plasma, he always ends up in my opening hand when I don't need him, and that kind of clinginess is a real turnoff. I'm going to say C. I imagine the kissing is still fine, but everything surrounding it just doesn't seem particularly efficient, we'll say. Ab-Zero. I feel like Ab-Zero gets a lot of hype, a lot of people's first kiss was maybe Ab-Zero, so they try to talk him up like it's not as pathetic as it actually is, when in reality, you're probably always walking away from this disappointed. People just see the potential in a person like this. We'll put him in B. Kind of similar to Destiny Hero Plasma, but at least he has, normal hands. Next up is Avian. Unfortunately, he just strikes me as a worse Sparkman. That still puts him in A, however. Bubbleman? Yeah, that's not going to be good. Too soapy, into D tier. Burstinatrix strikes me as someone who's, probably good at kissing, but is also quite literally on fire. There's pluses and minuses. That's a B tier for me. Clayman. Now we're getting into dangerous territory. I am unsure if golems can give consent. Yeah, a lot relies on if this is actually literally a clay person or if this is a man in a clay suit. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to add a new row below everything, and we are going to name it. We're going to name it conditional. Nope. So, if in fact Clayman is okay to kiss, it'd probably be fine. We can put Flame Wingman there too. Flame Wingman's front mouth is probably fine. The hand mouth, I think, would be an extremely bad kisser. I personally. Honesty Neos, easy S tier. Not close. This is the type of person you want to bring home to your parents, provided that they're okay with you dating, the sentient manifestation of Jaden Yuki's infinite potential or something like that. Not really up to date on GX lore. But Honesty Neos is just a swell all-around chap. He's burly, he's muscly, but he still has the soft wings necessary to keep you safe. Also, he helps you miss lethal. Let's go for Liquid Soldier. Liquid Soldier, again, like Ab-Zero, strikes me as someone who's really hyped. Everyone expected Liquid Soldier would be a good kisser, but just failed to deliver. Is this card still $90? We're putting him in B tier next to Ab. After that is Normal Neos, going to put it in A tier. Doesn't have really the potential of Honesty Neos, but still pretty close. Probably the best kisser in Duel Links, I would say. Elemental Hero Ocean is next. I'm going to put Ocean in D because I'm pretty unfamiliar with the card. I'm actually shocked that Ocean made the cut at all. Jeez. What was this person thinking? Still probably a better kisser than the outwardly evil heroes. Shadow Mist, also going into the S tier, absolutely a good kisser, no question about it. Like Sparkman, very adaptable, but unlike Sparkman, actually playable as well. So we'll actually put them in the top spot for now, which will immediately be bought out by Stratos. Stratos, the unquestionable best hero kisser. I mean, look at the guy. He's well built. He's got a mask on. You can do like a cute little Spider-Man thing where you take it off. This card just oozes value. All right, so with most of the main deck heroes out of the way, we'll make our way into the extra deck. First up is Sunriser. I don't like Sunriser, I gotta tell you. Strikes me as someone who's like full of themselves. And like Ab-Zero, people talk a big game, but the card really fails to deliver pretty much every single time. Just like how you always draw Miracle Fusion if you're playing this card, I'm sure it would not give you any experience that you don't already have. I'm putting him in a B tier next to Ab. The Shining is next. Same kind of deal. The Shining is a... Yeah, it's one of those guys where, like, you would struggle to think of anything to say about them. Like, nothing really stands out about The Shining, you know? You could come away from a 2-hour date with this guy and not know, like, his hobbies or his interests or, like, the last book he read or his stance on the validity of anime. I think that the best thing I can say about The Shining is that he's nice. And that's never where you want to be. That guy's going in bottom of B tier. Evil Hero Malicious Bane is next. So outwardly evil, again, probably a strike against them. I'm going to put them in C tier, still above Malicious though. Malicious Bane, if nothing else, is kind of ride or die, right? Like, once you two are in for each other, you're in for life. And that kind of a devotion you have to respect, even if you don't necessarily like the kissing. Fifth Hope is not a hero monster. It is 5 hero monsters, and at least 3 of them are not fantastic. Yeah, gonna put it in conditional as well. It depends on the order, I think. Like, if you start out with Clayman and you just end up with, like, Earth on your mouth for the remainder of the kisses, no one's having a good time. Though, if you sequence it properly, you can go, like, Clayman and get disgusting, Terra Firma on your mouth, and then Bubbleman can wash it off. Probably thinking a little bit too much about the mechanics of this card, so let's move on. So now we're into the masked heroes, which are almost all S tier. I would say Acid is probably the worst of them. I'm going to put it in C tier because the name is Acid, right? There's really only one thing that can be in the gun. Like, literal acid. So that's going to be a no from me. Anki is an A. Easy A. In fact, going to be ahead of all of these idiots, and we'll move Avian around while we're up here. Anki is dependable, powerful in the context of Duel Links, shows up when you need him most. He's built. He's got like a 15-pack. Is obscured by the mask, but whatever. Darklaw, I'm gonna have to buck convention here. I don't think Darklaw is a very good kisser. Like, how many lawyers do you know with extremely sensual lives? I feel like Darklaw would just want to talk to you about, like, probate or, like, torts. Doesn't strike me as a particularly interesting fellow, despite being as powerful as they are. And we'll wrap this up with the Vision Heroes. We've got Ferris, Increase, and Vion. These are kind of weird for me because I've always conceived of them as a single unit, sometimes with minimum ray, if we are playing Highlander. Shouts out to Histlander, by the way. We're going to go Ferris in... I'm going to put him in B tier. It's the hands that do it for me. They are just really slicing claws. I'm sure he's a nice guy, but there's just nothing you can do with the hands that doesn't involve maiming. Increase I will put in A tier over Avian. Increase is stocky, efficient, ends up in the spell and trap card zone, which is really all I want in a romantic partner. And then finally, Vision Hero Vion just does everything. Gonna put it in the S tier, slightly above Sparkman. I won't deny that I am conflating their kissability with their playability, but I think that's really what you should be doing. So that's that. That I think is the definitive kissability of Yu-Gi-Oh! Heroes. If you disagree, feel free to let me know why in the comments, but do keep in mind, I will not read, nor will I respect your answers. Let me know if you would like any changes to this type of video in the future, if you think I could go a little more into the mechanics of sequencing Fifth Hope, for example, and please don't unsubscribe. Thanks!